And a very good evening, Bridge North fans. Welcome once again to another episode of Parrot Park Radio. Great to have your company wherever you may be tuning in, not only here in Tassie, but across the country as well. Great to have you with us, and thank you for all your great support of this new show. It has been a big week in football. It sounds ridiculous, I know, but there is a lot of work going on with the associations and, of course, the clubs as they work through the requirements for the return to training, and of course associations also looking and weighing up the pros and cons of making a decision one way or the other to proceed with football this year. But we have got a huge show tonight. We're going to get stuck straight into it. Firstly, a very good evening to Bobby Beams and also to Justin Pup Ketchell. Gents, good evening.
G'day, Rick. How you going, mate?
Rick, how are we?
Fantastic. Very, very well. And we must also welcome another very special guest with us tonight. Terrific to have the federal member for Bass, Bridget Archer MP, with us as well. G'day, Bridget.
Hi, Rick. Thanks for having me.
No, pleasure. Great to have you here in the City Park Radio Studios. A big thanks, of course, to Chris Ball and the team from City Park who do a great job. Voluntary radio station, of course, here helping support the Bridge North Footy Club as well. But I know you're a big fan and of the club, and they've obviously we'll talk a little bit about some progress that's happening with the club at the moment in terms of their facilities and the lighting. But nice to have you here with us, and obviously a big show coming up. We'll get into that very shortly. But no footy at the moment, but we really don't know where we stand at the minute, do we? It's a little bit of status quo. A lot of people obviously want to see it, but there's a lot of other things to take into account as well.
I think everyone's missing the footy, and we were just talking earlier, the grounds are in good condition because we've had a nice bit of rain and nobody playing on them. But hopefully it won't be too long before we'll be up and running with the footy again. Let's
hope so. It'll be very interesting to see. Bobby, as we welcome you again, said that your club have commenced training. They've obviously ticked all the boxes, and you were allowed to go ahead.
Yeah, we did today, and we started with our senior men tonight, who had a squad of 17 there train, which was good. And tomorrow night our senior women will train, and our unders, and then our reserves will train Thursday night. So, yeah, the response from the players has been pretty good. They're keen to get back and do everything, follow all the protocols, do everything right, and just enjoy being back outside and having a kick and each other's company as best we can.
Indeed. Now, Pup, there'd be, how tough would it be on the players? Think I guess, wanting to tackle and do all that sort of stuff that belongs in footy, but to just get that habit out of you, I guess, and just ensure that the protocols are followed. It's going to be a bit tough.
Yeah, no, that's right, Rick. I was up there tonight unlocking and getting the footballs and that out for the boys. But, the 7 of them, all good. Followed the protocols and that, and then once they trained, you could just see they just loved it being back together, and they were up and about, and they're obviously unsure of where we're going to end up, but I mean at least they've got this opportunity at this stage to be out there and seeing each other face to face. Yeah, it was good.
Absolutely. I mean, from a just mentally, I think as well for mates to be around mates, and obviously you can't go and socialise afterwards. You've got to get in, you've got to get out. But the fact that you can be on the ground with friends, and particularly for those working at the workplace, people who are working have got that ability to do that face to face. But I guess getting away from the football and being amongst your mates is a really important thing as well.
And I think it's been really hard for everyone. I'd like to say, just to everyone out there, I think you've done a fantastic job in doing everything that the government's asked of you to keep your community safe. And I really congratulate everyone for that. And I hope to see you out enjoying yourselves and getting that social interaction really soon. But you've done a fantastic job in staying home and keeping everyone safe.
We have, I think, I'm not sure the figures tonight, but I think as of yesterday, there's only 10 active cases in the state. Which are all down the northwest coast, which is, I guess, to be expected at the moment. But to be down to 10 and no cases in, what are we looking at now, 8-9 days, is it's a mighty effort. We were saying earlier how fortunate we are to be an island as well. That with the great leadership we've seen from the Premier Peter Gutwin, we've got a great opportunity to get out of this quicker than others.
Yeah, we really do. But I think it has been so dependent on the Tasmanian community doing the right thing. And it's a lot to ask of people, It's a big change to your normal life. And so people have done a really amazing job.
Now, Bobby, training obviously back on. We heard last week, of course, the president of the NTFA, Scott Rigby, spoke to the press about, obviously there's a lot to go through. There's a lot of water under the bridge. We've got pros and cons. Clubs have got a lot to weigh up. But in terms of how are the players feeling with that uncertainty, knowing that hypothetically there may not be a season still?
Yeah, look, there's a bit of a mixed feeling amongst players. Some are thinking, no, well, it's probably just not going to happen. Maybe not even bother at all. But then others are thinking, well, yeah, let's give it every opportunity we can to at least train. And as a club, we had our meetings last week, and we voted as a board and then as coaches later in the week to just do whatever we're able to do, whatever the government will allow us to do. We'll offer that to all our players, and if that means it can be only training, well, that's what we'll do. So
we'll see what happens. A lot to go.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've got the thumbs up from you, have we, Bobby?
Yeah,
all right.
Mate.
We better get to an ad break. We have got a very big show coming up tonight. Of course, we're also going to reveal the number 6 player in our top 10 of the century. Yes, the century for the first 20 years at least of the 2000s. But we are going to take a quick break, and our first very special guest coming up after the break. Stick with us here on Parrot Park Radio.
Next Phase Electrical has been operating throughout northern Tasmania since 2007. Based on the West Tamar, Next Phase offer an extensive range of residential and domestic electrical services to customers such as builders, real estates, body corporates and homeowners. We can help you from the design stage through to completion of project. Our team is creative and versatile in designing residential solutions to meet our customers' everyday requirements. Our expert electricians will make sure your home is left even better than we found it. We are so serious about our service, we offer a full lifetime warranty on all of our workmanship. Contact Sharon in our office today. Parrot sponsor.
Hi, it's Bridget Archer here, your federal member for Bass. I hope that you and your family are keeping safe and well during this challenging time. Thank you for your ongoing support of the mighty Parrots and your efforts in helping prevent the spread of COVID-19. It's been a wonderful community effort. However, we can't afford to become complacent and risk undoing the great results we've achieved so far. As always, my office is open to you if you have any issues that I can assist with, or if you have any feedback which you feel should be passed on to decision makers. I hope to see you back at Parrot Park soon.
Yes, we do hope to see her back at Parrot Park very soon. Welcome back to Parrot Park Radio. You are with Bobby Beams, Justin Pup Ketchell, our special guest. Also great to have Bridget Archer MP, of course, our federal member for Bass, in the studio with us tonight, and me, Rick Fontaine. Well, time to introduce our first very special guest tonight on the show. Well, just over a year ago, he came and visited our club. He met a bloke called J-Rod, Jared Circle, who he described as having the best mullet he had ever seen. And the rest, as they say, is history for J-Rod, because he became an instant celebrity. I think he had about 6 interviews around Australia the next day. He was in the newspapers, radio, television. He and our guest also enjoyed a beer with the members and supporters and players, and backed that up by coming down for the grand final last year. In some great news this week, it was obviously terrific to see the Bridge North Football Club are getting ahead with this $250,000 for the lighting and improved drainage, which has all been confirmed, and I'm led to believe that it has just gone out to tender yesterday, which is absolutely fantastic for that $250,000. Of course, the Bridge North Football Club played a big part in the election campaign as well. It was widely regarded as being a huge impact in the campaign last year down here as well. As we all know, Australia has so far come through these extraordinary times of COVID-19 incredibly well as a nation when you take into account the rest of the world. So it is a great pleasure tonight to welcome to Parrot Park Radio our unofficial, but I'm thinking tonight we might make it official, our number one ticket holder, the Prime Minister of Australia. The Honourable Scott Morrison has been very good to join us. Lovely to have you, Prime Minister, and welcome.
Well, thanks very much. It's great to be back. I honestly wish I was there in person when Jen and I came down last year with Bridget. We had a great night down there at the park, and it was just great hanging out with everyone and spending a bit of time, and so that's why I was so pleased I could arrange to come back for the grand final. I wish it had been a better outcome for you guys. I think it was at three-quarter time. You're looking pretty good.
Was looking very good.
But that last quarter. But anyway, look, it's great to be with you, and I'm so pleased that the lighting and draining project, which Bridget's been shepherding away there, is kicking along, and great to see it happening.
Absolutely, and it is lovely to have Bridget with us here tonight as well. But first of all, I guess we'll start off by saying congratulations on a couple of things. Firstly, you've just ticked over a year in government, but also, I guess, more importantly, how well you've led the country through, I guess, these extraordinary times that we're going through at the moment. As I said in the opener, we are in a wonderful position and a wonderful opportunity. I guess we're talking about us here in Tassie being an island state, but being an island nation as well. We are doing very, very well, aren't we?
We are. We're doing better than countries all around the world. And, when you come through something like this, it's easy to sort of look back on it now when, we haven't had the horror show that has been in so many other parts of the world and go, oh, maybe the risk wasn't that great. Or maybe it was all or nothing. Well, no, that's not true. What we have been able to avoid in countries like Australia around the world, sophisticated, developed economies with good health systems and all of that, they have a death rate from the COVID-19 crisis more than 100 times higher than Australia. So that, I think, puts it in some perspective. And everyone's worked together, whether in local communities up there where you are, Peter Gutman as Premier down there in Tasmania, working together as part of the National Cabinet, Bridget doing a tremendous job as the local member, working in with both state and federal governments, keeping people informed, everyone doing the right thing. It's still tough, we know that. There are people who are out of work, the tourism industry is not up and running again. All of this needs to be built up, and there's a lot of work to do. But I'm confident because, people are just working together really well. There things that might have separated them before or would have been a reason not to work together, people are just putting that to one side, and they're just getting on with it. And I'm so proud of Australians.
Now, we know how important sport is to communities, and you're a great sporting fan as well. And I guess the exciting part for the Bridge North Footy Club is they were able to, in their group of 10, be able to return to training for the very first time as we speak. Actually, they're down at Parrot Park, but which is really exciting. We obviously
is Jay Rod on the park?
Boys, can you tell? Is Jay Rod? He's not.
No, he's not.
He's not. Those flowing locks.
He's obviously tuning in because he knows the Prime Minister's coming on. He sends his best wishes, by the way.
Only senior players
to him and all of his family. All the best to you guys.
Yes,
it was really great to meet you.
Absolutely, it was absolutely amazing. Now, Bobby, I'm sure you've got a couple of questions you'd like to fire.
Yeah, certainly have. G'day, Prime Minister. Thank you for joining our show. Obviously, fantastic work leading the country in this current situation. Obviously, you're a big fan of rugby. You're a good family man. What is one thing that you want to do when things get back to normal? Like, I know myself, I want to go to the footy, want to go to Melbourne, watch an AFL game. What's one thing you really want to do once we get things back to normal?
I want to go to Shark Park with my youngest daughter. We love going to the games together, and she gets all dressed up in her gear, and I got mine, and we go along, and it's just a wonderful time. She's still learning the game and all those sorts of things. It doesn't, I think, matter so much to her. She just likes to spend the time with her dad, and I love spending it with her, and my older daughter as well, doing special things with her, with Abby. Family times, this has been tough, but at the same time, we've all spent a lot more time with each other than we normally would in the busyness of our lives, and as difficult as that has meant economically, at the same time, it's been a reminder to all of us, I think, about what's most important. And I think when anyone answers that question, it's about special time with family and the things that you were able to do before outside the home, because we've certainly got to do all of the things. We've worked through everything you possibly can do at home in the last couple of months, that's for sure. Yeah,
definitely. And I know from my point of view, being about probably less footy and being about time with the kids has been great. I've got one more question before I hand over to Pup. We ask our guests on this show, especially the players, who is one of the biggest serial pests amongst their team, in their teammates. Now, we've heard a whisper that Bridget Archer could be the biggest serial pest in the Liberal Party. Can you confirm this? Or if not, can you point us in the right direction?
Well, I got a great team, and I can tell you Bridget is no serial pest, but I'll tell you what she does do, though. And this is what good local members do. And, they're on my case about stuff. Whether it's, following through on all the commitments we made at the last election, and it was Bridget's birthday, I should say, on the day of the anniversary of the election on the 18th of May. So happy birthday again, Bridge.
Thank you.
But that's what good local members do. They're on my case, they're on Josh Frydenberg's case, and they'll get onto the Premier too, Peter Gutwin, if she needs to. And I can tell you, she's not shy.
No, she's done a fantastic job in our community.
I'll tell you what, she can do things very, very well running solo too, because I hosted a virtual cocktail party for Gavin Pearce for his down, of course, in Braddon a week or so ago, and he's a tremendous bloke. Now,
Big Gav.
Brett, yep, that's it. And now, Bridget, you were asked to do a video, but you were in the office on your own at the time. You did, it wasn't a selfie, you actually did a selfie video, which came out very well.
I did do a selfie video from my office in Canberra to celebrate the big unit's first anniversary in the Parliament. And no, it was a great event for Gavin, and I'm happy to be able to support him. He's a very good local member.
I'll tell you what, they could become very popular. I MC a lot of functions that I've never done a virtual cocktail party before, but 100 people at a virtual cocktail party was actually very good. Didn't have to have any designated drivers. Everybody was home. It worked very, very well, and it's very safe. But
if you get too messy, you can turn the camera off. And can see.
Now, Prime Minister, I've going to hand over to Pup here. Pup is a rugby man, and I know you were very, very keen to pick the brain here, Pup.
Sure.
Yeah, g'day. This is pretty informal. So I'm going to call you ScoMo.
Please do.
As you know, everyone in football clubs got nicknames.
Yeah.
So, I've got a little bit of a rugby background. We moved when I think I was 10 from Tassie and went up to Queensland. And said, I want to play AFL. And they're like, what's AFL?
Where were you? Were you in Brisbane or further north?
No, just in a place called Marsden, just south of Brisbane. So I actually had to play rugby during primary school, which I quite enjoyed actually. And then got into AFL when I got to.
Where did you play? You in the forwards or the backs?
I was at the time. I don't know if they classify that as anymore. Because I'm only about 5'6" and a half, 7. I was the hooker.
Oh yeah,
the little fella in the middle of the scrum trying to hook.
Well, back then, Benny Elias and all those great players, they weren't big guys.
No.
These days the hookers are a lot bigger, but back then they were, when you actually used to have scrums where you contest the ball, it was quite different.
Yeah, no, that's right. Obviously, it was great to have you down at the footy club at the election time and then at the grand final. I was the one that handed you the Bridgenorth cap at Bridgenorth.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, he's going to just to sign it, and you've gone, thanks very much, and put it on. I thought, that one's gone. And
hey, tell me, how's Ernie Blackberry?
Ernie's going.
He's back out.
Well.
We saw him. He looked terribly ill there, and they did a great job. Those ICU nurses from Launceston General, who were out there volunteering, and obviously everyone, I'm sure, was very concerned.
Yeah, no,
for
Ernie's at home.
His well-being, but I hear he's out of hospital and he's doing all right.
Yeah, no, he's going good. He listens to our show each week.
Well, good day, Ernie, mate. Good to hear you doing well, mate.
Yeah. No, all good, thanks.
Did you get to your question, Pat?
Well, the NRL's back on this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. My Sharks are up again. No one is going to understand the faintest thing I'm talking about now. The Sharks are playing the Tigers this weekend. Any of you down there, you might have seen Paul Murray on telly. He's a mad Tigers fan, so he and I are having a bit of a go this week about how that's all going to play out. But anyway, it's good to see. It doesn't matter whether it's AFL or the NRL or netball or soccer or whatever you play. It's great to see people back out on the park. I couldn't be more happy about it.
Yeah. Now, just getting back to that hat.
Oh yeah, I've still got it.
Yeah, but then there's another. Can you remember in the wet area on Grand Final Day?
Yeah,
I gave you another one. So
I've got quite a collection.
Yeah, I think you said at Bridgenorth you've got quite a. I haven't had a hat since Grand Final.
Well, now that you've formally inducted me as the number one ticket holder, which I'm very, very proud and happy to accept. Next time I get asked, well, what's your AFL team? I'll say Bridgenorth.
Oh, well, that's right.
Bridgenorth's Parrots.
Yep,
that's it. Bridgenorth Parrots.
PM, I think Pup wants one of his hats back with your signature on it.
Up on that.
It's all good. I've got the Parrots beanie on tonight. It's a bit fresh tonight.
Yeah. He's bald. That's why he wants his hat back.
It'd be a bit chilly down there.
Yeah, it was tonight.
5 degrees tonight, I think. So it is a little bit better than the 0 last night. But
that's even cooler than where I am tonight in Canberra. So Well, it's good to see that everyone's out there. The girls playing this year?
Well, yeah, hopefully they can. We'll be training tomorrow night. We were training fantastically well before this all started, and they'll be back on the track tomorrow night. So they're very, very keen to at least get some training underway.
Well, look, I'm hoping, and I know Bridget would be glad to have us there, but Jenny and I, we loved coming to Northern Tasmania, and we're keen to come back as soon as we can start moving around again. It's a bit hard to get into Tassie if you're not from Tassie at the moment, but Grindelwald's calling for another game of putt-putt bridge, so and Jenny reckons she'll take me this time, so we'll see how we go, but maybe J-Rod can come out and join us for that one too, and perhaps...
He loves his golf, yeah.
I'm only good... these days, I used to play when I was a lot younger, but these days my golfing skills are limited to putt-putt, so...
And you can throw the handicap out the window, can't you, with putt-putt? Everyone could be a winner.
Everyone could be a winner. And we played there at night, which was the first time, and we're playing with headlamps. And I think it became a thing after that they trialled for a while for people to come out and play putt-putt at night. But anyway, it was a lot of fun, and it's a great part of the country, and I'm looking forward to be able to come back to Tassie soon.
We'll hope you'll be able to come down later in the year and see these flash new lights that are hopefully going to be installed by then.
Switch them on.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely. Yep.
Well, look, it's always great to have the number one ticket holder of any club on our show tonight, but it was unofficial, but we're glad that you've accepted the official status now, Prime Minister.
Thank you. It's wonderful. It's very kind of you. Jenny and I have got a very special attachment. That was a great night, and it was very... it was great encouragement to us. It was at the end of a very long campaign, and people were just very kind and welcoming to us, and we had a lot of fun, and so I think we've really established connection. I look forward to refreshing it again soon.
Yeah. And sport is supposed to be fun, isn't it? At the end of the day, everyone was there to have a good time. There was just nothing pretentious about it. It was just good, honest fun, and I think that comes through and through in sport, particularly community-level clubs. I think it's fantastic. Absolutely. Prime Minister, great to have you with us. Thank you very much for your busy time. And again, congratulations on everything that you and your government are doing, and of course all the Australian people who obviously make it happen, that we're going so well as well. But lovely to have you on Parrot Park Radio and chat to you again here at the Bridgenorth Footy Club.
That'd be great. And don't forget, everyone, to download the COVID Safe app. Really important. And well done, Bridge and Big Gav. You guys are doing a great job for us down there in Tassie. All the best.
And Pup will chase you up for one of those caps as well.
For those caps. I'll send him a Sharks cap. I'll do him a trade.
Yeah, no worries.
There you go.
Thanks.
Very good.
See you
Thanks very much, Prime Minister.
Thanks, Pam.
Terrific to have the Prime Minister, Honourable Scott Morrison. That was good fun, wasn't it?
Yeah. Get the big guest here, mate.
You've really, it's got up your goat, hasn't it? I think these couple of caps that's gone missing, Pup.
I've
gave him a hard time.
Been a story on caps over the time. I think it was after the 2010 Premiership, maybe on the Sunday.
Right.
Yeah, it got one of my favourite caps got taken off me while I was asleep and thrown in the wood eater.
He came up swinging.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't happy.
Dear, oh dear. Oh, well, it's time to settle down now. We better go to an ad break, Pup. No, but that was great. Great to have the Prime Minister on, and we've got to get J-Rod on. We might leave J-Rod till next week. He might have a good story to tell too, Pup.
Due for some limelight again now.
I'd imagine you would.
Yeah, very good. All right, time for a quick break. Coming up next, we're going to talk NTFAW for Bridgenorth, and we're going to have Emily Nunn on the show. Looking forward to chatting with her very shortly.
Nutrient Ag Solutions, formerly Roberts Livestock, are experts in buying and selling livestock. For all inquiries, contact Graham Bly, your local agent, on 0439 175 969. That's 0439 175 969. Parrot sponsor.
Visit C&W Electrical Launceston for all your electrical needs. If it's heating and cooling products, power points and switches, LED lighting or solar power, C&W will have the solution. 100% Australian owned and operated and supporting local families and community and sporting clubs. The friendly team at C&W has over 130 years of combined experience in the electrical industry, so no question will go unanswered. So if you're building or renovating, get in and see Flinty and the crew at C&W Launceston, a proud sponsor of the Bridgenorth Football Club.
Andrew Sides granted a marble, a Bridgenorth-based manufacturing business. Specialising in composite and natural stone for kitchens, bathrooms, hearths, headstones and barbecue areas. With over 30 years experience, call Andrew today on 0408 144 794. That's 0408 144 794.
Welcome back to Parrot Park Radio. Rick Fontaine with Bobby Beams, Justin Pup Ketchell, and also Bridget Archer MP, of course, our federal member for Bass, here with us tonight as well. Terrific to catch up with the Prime Minister. How are we going to top that? We're going to welcome our next guest, who's part, of course, the women's team, her second year with Bridgnorth, a great background in cricket and hockey as well, but most importantly right now, focus is a frontline health worker in the emergency department at the LGH as well. One of our great health workers, Emily Nunn, is joining us tonight. Emily, how are you?
Good, thanks, Rick. How are you?
I'm terrific, thank you. Are you about to start a night shift, or have we got you at a good time?
You've got me at a good time. I don't start till 9:30, so
right.
Got a bit of time up my sleeve.
Yeah, we won't talk to you for 2 hours. That's okay. It'll be briefish.
Bobby might.
Bobby, well, yeah, we'll keep that down. We're just letting Pup settle down a little bit because he's a little bit upset tonight. The Prime Minister was given 2 caps by Pup last year, and he didn't return any of them. And I think he wants one back, but he's going to get a rugby one, I think, from the Prime Minister. So that'll probably do him. But obviously, one thing Bobby just alluded to with me off air was the role that you played, and the Prime Minister was also asking about Ernie Blackberry. But what a special moment that was last year on Grand Final Day. And congratulations to yourself and everyone else who volunteered their time to make that happen and see him be able to attend and see his beloved Parrots play on Grand Final Day. That must have been pretty special.
Yeah, that was definitely something really special to be a part of. I mean, Ernie was awesome to me when I first started at the club. Being that little bit older, having dodgy joints, previous sporting injuries, just always there, always happy to strap an ankle. So I was just like, well, how can I give back to him? And that was my way of helping him and his family out, so I could see the boys play on Grand Final Day.
Yeah, great work, Em, and I know when we, in pre-season training, we went around the group and asked our highlight for the year in 2019, and you actually said that, which I think, was very good.
Yeah, I'll say it's probably right up there with one of the best moments of my nursing career. I've only been a nurse for 5 years, but that's something pretty special to be able to use my workplace skills to help outside, away from work. So, yeah.
No, great work. Now, before I ask a question on football, just in your line of work, how have you found the last 10 or 12 weeks? I guess as a state and as a country, we probably didn't get to the levels that some may have predicted with the pressure on the healthcare system, but no doubt it's still been pretty hard in there, at the coalface. How have you found it, and how's it been in there?
It's been a fairly hard slog. It's been tricky. We've had sort of all the normal stuff, but then, you've got to consistently think of, okay, COVID-19, it's a risk. We need to keep everybody safe, keep ourselves safe, keep the patient safe, keep the community safe. So it was just learning to adapt what we do day to day. Sort of changing bits and pieces. Obviously wearing all the protective gear. That changed it added a whole other dimension to the way that we nurse. But I'll tell you what, the team that we have in the emergency department's amazing. We're basically one giant family, kind of like you find in footy, one big family, and we've really looked after each other the last 10 weeks or so.
Yeah, excellent. No, you certainly do a fantastic job, the whole crew. Now, just on your footy, you played your first year of footy last year. As you said, you'd come from other sports, hockey being one of them, and you do play some cricket as well. How did you find footy? I know from my point of view as your coach, you were fantastic. You couldn't obviously play every game through your work commitments, and you did have an injury early in the year. But when by the end of the season, when you came consistently were able to play, and the game you played in that final, you were in one of our top 2 or 3 players. How did you find it coming from other sports?
I guess already having that sort of sporting background and like that coaching background, I was keen to listen and learn and try and utilise the skills that I already had and adapt them to footy. I know, like with hockey, a lot of hockey is running into space to receive the ball, receiving on the lead, so trying to adapt that into my footy game and learning the way that it went about football, like the way it was done in footy. But like the way that you guys coached it was a nice little sort of foundation coming from another sport, and then teaching the skills for football and stuff on top of that, and helping me have a better understanding of how the game works. Yeah, no, it was certainly, as we've said many times in the show, certainly a pleasure to coach a very keen group of girls to learn. Now, obviously, we're unsure of whether we'll get a season underway at this stage, but you mentioned it yourself. You are one of the older girls in our group. Do you think you'd be able to play a few seasons down the track? Oh, yeah,
Yep.
I reckon I've still got a few seasons left
Yep.
in me. I'm not completely... few injuries, but, you know, I'm not completely done yet. And, like, the group of girls, and just... It's a shame I found footy a few years later, like being in my 30s.
Yeah.
I was a couple of years younger. But,
Yeah.
you know, I've still got a handful of seasons in me, I reckon.
No, that's music to our ears, because you bring something very special to our group, and your experience too in your coaching. I know you've coached at state level in hockey, I believe.
Yeah, I've coached. So with like hockey, we've sort of got our field hockey that runs through the winter, and during summer we've got indoor hockey, which is like a six-a-side with boards. So I've coached under 15 state team, like Tassie boys, under 18 Tassie boys, under 18 Tassie girls assistant coach. So it's been good. So yeah, it was good to sort of, you know, take a group of kids away and watch them improve and help them with their skills and watch them grow as well. Like you see them growing like the 5 days that you're away. So
yeah,
good.
no, all good. G'day, Em. Pup here. How are you?
Good, Pup. How you going?
Yeah, good, thank you. Good to hear from you. Obviously Bobby's touched on, you love your sport, obviously your hockey and your cricket and your football.
Yep.
Just one thing, if you can, it's up to you, let us know, like growing up, what sort of sports did you like as a young girl, and that, was it always?
It was always a bit of everything.
Yep.
Like I've done everything from martial arts, to inline hockey as a goalkeeper, basketball, soccer. I've given everything a bit of a go, if that makes sense.
Yeah, which doesn't surprise me,
Yeah.
because I know according to Bobby and I, you're a natural sporting person.
Yeah, I guess sport's always been my outlet. It's something that I've always been able to do.
Yep.
So it's
Yep.
yeah, it's what's kept me going, and I can't sit still.
Yeah,
I'd rather be outside riding my bike than sitting down on the couch.
Yeah,
so.
no, that's right. And as Bobby had said, you bring a lot to our group, and when you are there on match day, most times it's in a winning side. Just having that experience around, and it's great to hear that you can go on for another 3, 4, hopefully 5 years or more, and be part of a premiership down at Bridgenorth.
That would be the ultimate goal.
Exactly. Yep.
Definitely.
All good. No, right. Well, look, Emily, been great to catch up. Oh, actually, no, I think we've let Emily off a bit lightly. I think over the last few weeks, boys, you've been asking our players about who's got the most annoying habit, what upsets them. Have you got any slander that you'd like to throw towards any of your teammates, Emily, in regards to? I don't know, maybe an annoying habit at training or off the field as well. It's an open forum. We're all friends.
I don't know. You put me on the spot a little bit, Rick.
Well, yeah, but Bobby should have pre-warned you on this. We've been doing it every week. I don't know. You're going easy, Bobby.
Yeah,
she might have said about a coach, I thought.
Yeah, well, could be you. Is that why you kept it quiet?
Yeah.
I was going to say this is probably the least I've heard Bobby talk. Like, No, I'm joking.
Yeah, I'm very subdued tonight, actually.
You are.
Yeah.
Starstruck.
Yeah, no really annoying habits or anything. I just, like, the girls, for me, in the last 10 weeks have been awesome. Just little messages checking in. So, I can't really say that they've got any annoying habits because they've been so good to me the last 10 weeks, and they're always good to me. So,
I'll tell you what, without fail, every week the women they all speak very, very well, don't they? Everyone, I think, could just about come on here and run the show. So we might have to get you extend the invitation when you're not working, Emily, to come on and maybe come and co-host with us one night.
I'd give it a go. I'm always down for something new a go.
There you go. Done deal. Hey, well done. Let's hope that there will be some footy for the girls to play this season as well. But well done, obviously, work-wise as well. Having spent a bit of time in emergency 3 weeks ago with an appendix that didn't want to hang around anymore, you guys do an unbelievable job, because I know from first-hand experience, obviously, there was a fair bit of the LGH that was shut off. But the way that everyone under extreme pressure can teams together and knows what they're doing is outstanding. So congratulations on everything that you're doing.
Cheers. Thank you for that.
All right, great to have Emily Nunn.
Thanks, Sam.
Joining us on Parrot Park Radio tonight. She's a good one, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a real goer. She loves playing at all different sports. She does a lot of mountain bike riding as well, and works obviously long hours, and then just enjoys. She lives down at Low Head. She just loves getting down to the beach with the dogs and just relaxing a bit of her time. So great girl to have a get round.
Oh, you might run into her down Low Head Beach there. Are you running the animals around?
Yeah, I might. And can I just also add to Em and all the staff up there at the LGH have just done a really fantastic job throughout this. With the outbreak up on the northwest, they also took a lot of the patients from the northwest in the COVID ward as well, and of course a lot of maternity patients as well. They do a great job all year round, but they've done a particularly great job in the last few months as well, so well done to you.
Absolutely, well said. All right, time for another break. We've got one more guest coming up tonight, and that is the number 6 player in the top 10 of the century. We will beat him next. And, of course, Parrot Park Lotto. What do we do? Another $200 and $100 first and second tonight?
Yep.
Fantastic. We've got that to draw, so plenty still to come. Stick with us here on Parrot Park Radio.
Mackerel Building specialises in extensions, new homes and bathroom transformations. For non-obligation quotes, please contact Paddy today on 04 67 540 337. Go Parrots!
The Bridgenell Football Club would like to thank their bronze sponsors, Greenspeech Shop. For all your Greenspeech supplies, call in see Neville and the team. Thomas Parker, for all the rare spares your pride and joy requires. Lagana Service and Spares, for rego checks and all mechanical repairs. Taz Toilet Hire, for weddings, functions, festivals and building sites. On skids and trailer mounted, call Justin today. So please, now more than ever, support those who support us.
ProDig are the earth-moving specialists you can trust for all your residential, commercial, industrial and civil work. They are fully licensed and insured and have a very experienced team. No job is too big or too small, with 1.5 to 20 tonne excavators, bobcats, rollers and tippers, offering services ranging from subdivisions, plumbing and drainage to your backyard swimming pool preparation. Call ProDig today.
Welcome back to Parrot Park Radio. Great to have your company with us tonight. Of course, we're working our way through to the number 1 player of the century for the Bridge North Footy Club. Of course, the first 20 years at least anyway, up until now. But who knows? Some of these might end up in the team of the century when, well, I guess the next generation we won't be here broadcasting then, I wouldn't have thought. But you never know. Anyway, great to have our next guest with us. He made his senior debut back in 2009 against Bracknell. I'll tell you what, there's been a common theme here. A lot of them have made their debut against Bracknell. Anyway, that's a bit of useless information, but moving on. 177 senior games, 122 goals. Of course, part of the senior premiership team back in 2010, senior co-captain in 2015, 2016, and of course last year where they made their way through to the grand final, but also very significantly a 3-time best and fairest winner with the club, as well as we welcome and congratulate our number 6 player in the top 10 of the century. It is Luke Duncan. Congratulations, Luke, and welcome, mate. Good to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So, number 6, that in 20 years, that's quite an honour. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, very honoured. Very happy.
Now, we've got a bit of memorabilia here tonight as well. Bridget Archer, of course, federal member for Bass, is with us tonight, and she presented to Bobby and Pup a fantastic photo which was on Media Day for the grand final, holding the Premiership trophy. Unfortunately, they went to the other mob on the other side of the river, but been signed by ScoMo as well. So we've got no doubt the boys will show that one off to you down at the club rooms sometime soon. But obviously that was a tough way to finish last year as well, because it was a very even competition. But the grand final itself was a great game. I mean, you're in a terrific position up until 3/4 time, but unfortunately got overrun. But do you think, with the nucleus of the team you've got and the success that you achieved last year, that you think something special might not be too far away?
Yeah, I think we were a little way off last year. We sort of put it together for the first 2 final games and didn't really follow through on what we talked about in the grand final. And Hillwood had a very good side, so we knew if we got anything wrong, they could have run over the top of us. But yeah, I think we've got to work on getting out some bad habits that have sort of crept in a little bit. Maybe just get some sustained success for maybe 5-6 years. But yeah, they aren't too far off. A lot of very good young blokes down there, and it's a very fun club. So
it is a great club, and it's of course it's a very even competition, really. I mean, we saw it with the finals last year when we had teams in 4th and 5th. That you saw Rochalee had a great final series, and I think that the standard of the competition and the evenness of the competition is getting better. Yeah.
Since we won the premiership, I think ever since then, the first probably 4 or 5 years after all the statewide players started coming back, you could pretty much tell at the start of the year who were going to be the top 2 teams. And but now you just can't tell. It's really good even competition now, and it's finally, I think the point system's helped a lot, and it's finally just spread out. And if you don't play your best on the day, there's a chance you probably lose, which is what you want.
G'day, Luke. Bobby here, mate. Congratulations on making the top 10. You've certainly had a fine career at Bridgenorth, as Rick read out there in the intro. We're hoping that you're not finished. What do you? I know you had a major hip operation a couple of years ago, and you do play through a fair bit of pain. How much more footy do you reckon you have got in you?
Not too sure, to be honest with you. The hip pain I can sort of deal with. I'm pretty used to it now, so it does take a fair bit of work during the week, stretching and going to the physio a fair bit to get it right to play. And I like to train my hardest too, so I'm not the sort of person that wants to only train once a week. If I do something, I want to do it properly. But the plan was maybe to have this year off and get a bit of a mental break and go do some of the things I haven't been able to do. My footy's been on, like do a bit of travelling and everything. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that either. But yeah, so I don't know. It's been a good mental break. But it's probably a bit hard to start training this time of year.
It's
with the weather.
Right. But hopefully the spell can do you good, like you say, refresh you and get you back, whether it be this year or next year. Now, in your time, your 10 years or more at the club, obviously you won a premiership in the second year you're there, 2010, which you played a big part in. You've played with some very good players. We've made quite a few grand finals in that time without taking the next step and winning them. Who would be the better players you've played with at the club in your time?
I would have to say Joel Clements, Josh Murphy, Doc Savage and Chris Savage.
Yep.
Sellers, Cal Beams. Yeah, there's a lot of good players that I've played with, like Doc Savage, Joel Clements and Josh Murphy. They're players that could really win a game off their own boot. But there's a lot of players like Cal Beams and even Joel Holloway that just did their job. And, Bess and Ferris, blokes like that probably wouldn't get recognised as much. But, there's a long list of good players.
Yeah, no, definitely. Now, obviously you played against quite a few very good players as well in that time. Roach-Lee had a very good patch after we won, and then South Launceston, and as you mentioned earlier, the State League players that come back. Who would be the best player or players you've seen in the comp in your time?
Probably anyone out of that Roach-Lee 2011 through to 14. Yeah, there wasn't. They were all awesome players and very hard to play against. You don't, if you go into a game not feeling too comfortable, they've normally got the wood over you. But yeah, they as a team, and they were just unreal. But yeah, like Hillwood last year, they had a lot of good players as well. But yeah, it's a bit hard to remember, to be honest with you. Nick Sutton, he was a good player. Honestly can't remember too off the top of my head, but it's gone pretty quick.
Yeah, g'day Dunks, Pup here. How are you, buddy?
Good, mate, you?
Good, thanks. Congratulations on number 6.
Thank you.
Just one thing with a bit of downtime you've got, have you been able to put in a few more extra hours with your gaming?
Yes,
or
definitely.
You call it.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Definitely putting a bit of work in on PlayStation and carrying blokes like Gary, the new coach, to a few wins.
Yeah, I was actually. Who's leading the ledger there? You'd be smashing him, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'll carry him along.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Yeah, and then obviously getting back to, not that I got to participate in many of the after every season, the Mad Mondays. Having my own business, a bit hard to get time off, but I know yourself and when Murph and Sellers come down and that, you guys embrace the Mad Mondays really good. And even this year, I think it's up on the Parrot's Facebook page. All the dress-ups, you guys go to a lot of effort for that.
Yeah, yep. Mad Monday was always fun. All the functions down there are really fun when everyone gets involved. Yeah, yep. Like I said, it goes pretty quick though. If you do miss a few, you take it for granted.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah,
I did miss the Silly Sunday after we won that grand final. So I thought I might have another shot at that, but Silly never lets me forget that one.
Well, he missed the game.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
His name pops up every week, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Well, actually, just on that one then, obviously we bring that up. Who in the 11 years, 10 years you've been there, who would be one of the most annoying around the club?
Oh, yeah, you can't go past Silly. You just can't. No one else.
No.
If you're good at something, you might as well stay good at it and be the best at it. So.
That's it.
Now, you mentioned that you like travelling, and obviously you can't do much at the moment, but one place you can start travelling to, if you like, is to participate in training down at the Bridge North Footy Club. They got underway tonight, so that could be a destination.
Yeah, I know, but these single figure weather days make it hard. The old arthritis plays up a bit in the cold weather.
No, not good
poor
for the
old
hip
bugger.
either. Yeah.
Especially if the bar's not open either.
No.
It's no motivation at all.
No, get in, get out's not great motivation.
No. In terms of, what do you think it'll be like for the players? And we'll talk to them over the next few weeks. But you obviously keep in touch with a lot of them. How have you found the playing group in terms of how they've dealt with this situation? Because there's still, even with training going back, there is a lot of uncertainty, Luke.
Yeah, I talked to Gary a fair bit. He's probably the main one I talk to out of the players down there at the moment. And it's hard for people because a lot of people, footy is a big part of their life and it brings structure to their life. As soon as you take that away, in the way it has, like no one knows what's going on. People sort of lose what they're doing. So I think you wouldn't want to be a coach at the moment. It'd be a very hard thing to try and you've got to deal with your own mentality of trying to stay focused, but you've got to try and motivate all the other people as well when you can't really contact them that much. So I'm sure they'll be fine. Now they're allowed to train. I'm sure that's going to be a big part in getting motivation back, and it won't take too long for them to, get the feeling back.
No, and we are hearing that it is getting closer and closer in terms to we heard 2 or 3 days ago the Darwin Football Association, the coast, have pulled the pin on the comp for this year.
Yep.
So competitions are starting to make some decisions. So I think it's getting closer and closer to which way it's going to go. But I know a lot of people want to see it, mentally for people to be able to get back and be able to be there and just blow off some steam and watch some footy. It's pretty important for communities, particularly, I guess, for our local sporting clubs in the NTFA.
Yeah, and there's a lot of rivalries in footy, but now might be a good time for NTFA to come together and the clubs come together, and even if it isn't for a premiership or just put something together to for the greater good of the game and the league.
Excellent.
So I don't know, brainstorm a few different things, but
yep,
that might be an option for him to do. But
indeed. Now, speaking of rivalries, who did you love to beat during your career with Bridge North, Luke?
Everyone really. You sort of. Pretty much everyone.
Yeah,
it's always good beating everyone.
Well, there must be some. What about you, Bobby and Pup? You two blokes. Who would you? Who do you love to see your mighty Parrots beat?
Oh, back when I played, I reckon one of the biggest rivals was Rochalee. We played them in grand finals in '96 in seniors and reserves, like when I was only a teenager. And yeah, we had some pretty good battles right through. There's a couple of years where we struggled in our senior side. We only won 3 games in 2 years, and they were all against Rochalee. And we had one where we only won 1 game for the year, was against Rochalee. We come from 4.5 goals down in the last quarter, halfway through the last quarter. And yeah, I reckon they probably were. What about you, Pup?
Yeah, I'd probably go back just that little bit further. When I was only young, 16, 17, we obviously had to play against Exeter. So close town rivals, and that went back to the 40s and 50s, that rivalry. But
you go back that far?
No, this is when this big rivalry started with the club, and used to think why, but I realised, I worked it out pretty quick. They're black and white to start with, so yeah.
Probably now, I reckon, Hillwood, Pete Hillwood.
Oh, yeah.
It's very special.
Nowadays, Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you're almost across the river, aren't you?
Yeah.
I guess,
yeah.
As the crow flies. So, no, very good. Well, Luke. Well, look again. Congratulations on making it to number 6, as you touched on. You played with some pretty magnificent players in your 11 or so years with the club so far, and hopefully the club hasn't seen the last of you. But it's a great honour to be up at number 6. So well done on that, and great to have you on tonight as well.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dunks.
Good on you. Thanks, Dunks.
See you.
Luke Duncan joining us there. When you read out there the 3-time best and fairest winner in 3 consecutive years. That's a
phenomenal
fair
player. He works so hard on his own game. Just spent a lot of time in the gym just to get himself so strong, so fit. And he, one-on-one contests, he just is unstoppable at times.
Shows a lot of dedication, even at this level, that you have someone prepared with a crook hip that will put in that work during the week in his own time, with his physio and everything like that, to try and get his body up every week.
So professional in his preparation, and always has been. And as he's got older and had that ailment with the hip, he's had to work even harder. And his centre clearance work is fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. And a credit to him for, like I say, spending all that time at Parrot Park, because I know over the years he's had a lot of rival clubs chasing him, because he's a great player, and it's great that he's played those 10 years at Bridgenor.
Absolutely, very worthy recipient of that number 6 position. Of course, next week we'll be down to our top 5. So plenty of big names to come over the next few weeks. Everyone will be guessing who's going to be there. A bit of banter on the Facebook page.
Bit of talk about. I've talking to a few of the boys last week, and one thing we want to do is get the communication, a bit of talk happening, and it is happening.
Yeah, so it is
everyone's got theirs.
A bit, so.
Yeah, righto. Fantastic. That's what we want. All right, now Bridget Archer is still here with us, and I'm thinking, fellas, that after the break, when we do our Parrot Park Lotto draw, we might get our federal member for Bass to roll the balls, because then we won't get in any trouble for anyone's name who's not picked. So would you happy to stick around and do that for us?
Oh, yeah, trouble's my stock and trade.
All right, well, stick with us because we're going to announce a couple of winners of some money after the break here on Parrot Park Radio.
The Bridgnorth Football Club would like to thank their bronze sponsors, Agency 36, for property sales in the Greater Launceston and surrounding suburbs. Call Steve Crawford today. Boathouse Cafe, for the best food and coffee, call in and see Isaac Letborg. Harvey Electrical, see Matthew for great service and installation. And Bruff Race Engines, built strong, built tough, and built to win. They also do your daily drive. So please, now more than ever, support those who support us.
Club sponsor Lagana Tyres and More are opening early and closing late to give you the best service of your tyre and mechanical needs. Helping you with your vehicles is our priority. We specialise in special interest vehicles and motorcycle tyres. We've been servicing West Tamar for 20 years. We have a loyal customer base and we are equally loyal to them. Go Parrots!
Parrot's major sponsor, Lagana Tavern, are back in the kitchen preparing tavern takeaway for you. Taste the tavern takeaway menu with many of your favourites available Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and pizzas available Friday, Saturday and Sunday with our regular $15 Parma specials on Monday. Check out our pinned post on Facebook or have a chat to our friendly staff for menu details and specials. Order from 3 p.m. for pickup from 5 or give us a call on 633 02 772.
And welcome back to Parrot Park Radio. Almost time for us to go, but of course now everyone has been waiting for this. The Parrot Park Lotto, and Bridget Archer has got the machine. We've been warming it up and practicing in the ad break, and I mucked it up when I showed her how she's got to do it, but she's got to, you're all over it, aren't you, Bridget?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, righto. Let's go. First one is for $200. And our first number, what do we got?
44.
Bobby,
44.
You got the names?
Adrian Moylan. Syke Moylan.
Big Syke.
Syke?
Yep.
Okay, Adrian Moylan, well done to you. $200. And now we've got one more left to roll for $100.
Number 60.
60.
Number 60 is Paul Clements. Clemo.
Oh, well Clem dog.
Paul Clements. Paul Clements, well done to you, Paul. $100 coming your way as well. So, Adrian Moylan, $200. Paul Clements, $100. Thank you, Bridget. And before we wrap it up, thank you very much for coming on tonight as well, and for your support of the club. And obviously, very exciting times now with, as we touched on at the top of the show, the tenders have gone out to tender yesterday for the work to begin.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. It's great to hear that the tender's been let for that project, and we look forward to seeing the light shining bright over Parrot Park and some players out on the field before too long.
Indeed. All right. And thanks also for your help in getting the PM on tonight as well. That was fantastic.
My pleasure.
Really good.
No,
Thanks,
stuff.
Bridget,
Thanks,
too,
Bridget.
for the presentation of it is the front page of the Friday's paper before the grand final last year, with Dunks and Jake Pearce on the front, signed by the PM, and thank you very much for that. We'll go proudly in our club rooms. But thank you for your support of the footy club, and like Rick said, that project that will start later this year, that'll be just brilliant for us to have great lights and better drainage. We've got a lot of traffic, as in players going over the ground nowadays. So it'll be great to have upgrade our facilities a bit more than they are. So thank you very much.
Great street lighting for the commuters going through Bridgnorth as well, won't there? As on training nights going on the road.
Yeah, it certainly
fantastic.
Will be.
Better
than
navigational beacon out there in Bridgnorth.
Better than the candles that we've got now. So, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. All right, Pup. Anything to add?
No, great show. Like I say, thanks, Bridget, for coming along and getting ScoMo on for a bit of a like I say, very informal chat with him. It was great.
It looks like I'll be bringing a Sharks hat back from Canberra next time round.
You'll have to come down to Parrot Park and we'll do a presentation.
And we have, when our merchandise isn't far away from showing up, we have got some beanies for you to take to Canberra.
I have a Bridge North Parrots beanie in my office in Canberra, so I'll send you a picture next time I'm there.
You'll need them in Canberra too.
Yeah, will indeed. Yeah, all right. No, great show. Well done, Pup and Bobby, and thanks again to you, Bridget, as well. We'll be back next Thursday night. Not Thursday night. What am I thinking? Tuesday. And
it's not your own show, mate.
No. Jeez, that's terrible. Now, we'll obviously have our number 5 player of the century, and we might have a bit of dirt to bring up on
I'm
Bobby.
looking forward to it.
I know you are.
Can't wait.
I'm a little bit nervous because I've got a feeling I think I know who you're going to contact to try and get some dirt on me from back on the school days.
I'll get this next week over and done with first and see what we've been doing the last 4 shows.
If Joe Palmer's listening, if you see a number pop up, I'll send you a text to the number. Just don't answer.
Oh no, she's got my number. So she'll know. She'll know when I ring. So and I know a few others that
we
went
might
to
make you sweat till the last show, Rick. I reckon.
Hey?
We'll make you sweat right until the last show.
Okay, that's all right. If I dish it out, I've got to take it. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Thanks to all my friends who didn't answer the phone this week then before I came.
They're very nice.
See, the old PM wouldn't throw you under the bus either about the,
the
serial pest.
Give him time.
Yeah. I didn't mean that actually, Bridget, either. I think I was a serial pest last year, calling you all the time. So
we got it done. We got it done.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right, good fun, and thanks very much to everyone for tuning in this week. Don't forget, share it around amongst your friends as well, because community sport is very important, and we want to get the message out about this to everyone as well. So please jump on and share this week's show, but we'll catch you next Tuesday.
No worries.
Excellent.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you.